What am I doing? Why on earth am I actually powering this up? And I'm so sorry that was a Discord ping. That was my fault. But, oh, gee. There is no reason anybody should ever be powered. What is this video? Oh my goodness, I am so sorry this video took so long to make. About 9 days ago, well, it's only been 9 days for like 10 minutes, but essentially 9 days ago, 8.5 days ago, I made a video talking about whatever, daily missions, and I said, if you guys wanted me to cover the nailer, just thumb up a comment and get it to 170 likes, and you... Wow, okay, I have a new number to shoot for. No, I'm not liking this. No, I am not helping this. I did not actually think that you guys would like that many times, so now I know for the future, but I actually got really busy and that video got delayed pretty heavily, and it actually blows my mind that that was already over a week ago. But today's video is going to be very, very different. The nailer is kind of a meme in the community as one of the worst weapons in the game, and I actually don't know if it is the worst weapon in the game, believe it or not, because I don't care. I don't really look at that kind of thing. I'm generally a very positive person, and knowing the worst weapon in the game doesn't actually help me as a player. I usually like to talk about the best weapons in the game, but just to show you guys how this isn't a meme, we're gonna go ahead and just to show you guys how this isn't just a meme, I should say, we're gonna go ahead and talk about why this is the worst weapon that I know of, at least, and what exactly went wrong. So obviously, if you're a fan of this channel for a while, my old video covering this was essentially an 8-second video of me recycling it, and that is still my recommendation. If you believe that I perked this weapon up and I'm going to keep it that way, no, this schematic is going away and you're not going to troll me on stream, okay? But let's talk about exactly what makes a good weapon, honestly. That's the angle I want to take with this. And that is, honestly, I was going to start with high fire rate, but you don't need high fire rate. In fact, there are good examples like the Gravedigger. The Gravedigger is not like the highest damaging weapon in the game. We all know it's not, but it actually only has about a 7.2 fire rate, but with 9,800 damage per shot, that's actually pretty okay, and it can get away with that. Now, the nailer does do more damage than that per shot, but at nearly 5 shots per second, that is not a lot. That is raw damage, like 56,000 DPS, as you can see. Of course, that's not counting crits, but I have a calculator made by a very smart friend of mine, Choo Choo, or now goes by Sael. She went ahead, respect. She went ahead and made this, and it is a very, very useful tool. I'll link this in the description down below if you guys want to know our calculator. I do a lot of this behind the scenes. I actually rarely show my numbers and this calculator because we were going to cover this in a video, and then that just kind of got never organized with her. So we're going to just talk about the numbers here. So if you guys never knew this, I don't just talk out of my ass. I generally do the math on these things, and this is exactly what I punched in. The damage, the fire rate, everything, just mag size. If you put reload as an empty value, it doesn't account for the time spent reloading, and that is what we get is a damage output of 100 and nearly 32,000 DPS, and that is why we have this over here. Cthulhu, or Sael, went ahead and did all this. This is just with various perks. I know what they're talking about, so I know how to read this. It's why I don't share it that often. These numbers are very misleading if you don't know what's happening. So in this case, the quick shot is like, I think some totally rocking out builds might have even been tried. Oh, that was the melee version, but the quick shot, like, these are stacking crit rating and stuff like that. These numbers get wicked high, like the floor flusher. It only achieves that 300,000 DPS with that matching element, but it's actually more like 215,000 right around down here without that elemental damage. But the Thrasher is what I like to talk about because I talk about it all the time. 244,000 DPS with general damage to affliction or soul ensnared perks. Hemlock, again, this is factoring in the 5 hits cause an explosion. It's not exactly 255k. We're doing best case scenario on this sheet. And again, the Pain Train also has a little asterisk. But for reference, if you guys have used the Thrasher, or the Spectre, or the Bobcat, or the Hacksaw, the Hemlock with its normal DPS, the Gravedigger, like I mentioned, the Siegebreaker, you would hopefully have some experience in-game of how these weapons perform. So just know that anything over 200,000 DPS is pretty good. You know, these weapons have a very good combination of fire rate, damage, good damage output. And I want to make one more asterisk. The Bobcat only achieves this amount of damage higher than the Spectre if you don't have like a reloader mag size perk. So I'm hoping this isn't too complicated. I am blurting a lot of information. Just to dumb everything down to make a final point here, this is, well, basically the Thrasher and down. This is generally how these weapons perform. So if you've used any of these weapons, you should know what 200,000 DPS feels like. So when I tell you that this weapon has 131.8 thousand DPS, you need to know that it is nearly half the damage output of the Thrasher. This is what we have as a combination of a pretty good damage output. Actually, like 11,000 damage per bullet, pretty good. But such a slow fire rate that it is abysmal. It is really, really quite horrible. And I just want to make that a point, that this weapon is honestly You know, it could be good. If they tweaked the fire rate, made it a little bit faster, or even made it a little bit more accurate so you could shoot it a little bit more accurately in game, it would have some redeeming qualities. But if you've been looking at some of this gameplay and you think, well, Beast, that looks really good, I want you to note that Affliction is doing a lot here. And a lot of my gameplay, I don't know what I've shown, I'm actually just shooting and then letting Affliction do the rest of the damage. It got buffed in a recent update, and several updates have gone by without them changing it, so I think that might be finalized now. Affliction is carrying a lot of weight when it comes to the nailer here, and it's been so long taking down a smasher that it's just kind of comical. And that is essentially all I have to say about why this weapon is so bad. And that's one of the reasons why if you use it in game, it's still gonna work. You're still gonna kill some things relatively fast. Weaker zombies who can succumb to like 50,000 damage are actually gonna die pretty quick, like within 1 second. And then you might be thinking to yourself, hey, isn't this weapon like kind of good? And you know, with Affliction's buff, and if you just lay into a smasher, it's actually able to kill a smasher in 1 magazine, because 40 mag size is actually pretty good. And I'm actually using assault ammo recovery in my build. If I can go down to my Ramirez build here, yeah, I am getting about a 31% bonus. So 40 rounds in the mag is a lot, and I'm shooting for a while. So I just want to know that if this I just want to make sure that if you're seeing this gameplay and you think this weapon is better than it is, that I'm saying you need to realize what's happening behind the scenes. There are a lot of bonuses going into buffing this weapon, and if you're trying to perk it, goodness gracious. I mean, if you're really just memeing, why not? I've seen people supercharge this weapon. A crit build is probably recommended. I don't think you need to overthink it. Obviously, you're not going to use Totally Rockin' Out for this. Don't go double crit damage. I still recommend a reload because it gets you right back into the fight, but you're shooting so slow. I don't know. It had a really slow reload time too, so I went with the reload perk. Haven't regretted it. Damage to Affliction is great. You're going to need Affliction damage here. I won't recommend anything else, period, because it needs that extra damage output. So if you are really hell-bent on using the nailer, then Affliction and Damage to Afflicted is absolutely recommended. And then any element. If you're fighting nature enemies, use fire. If you're fighting water enemies, use nature. And if you're fighting fire enemies, use water, because I just went energy, didn't think about it twice. And yeah, but honestly, if you're really going to use the nailer for anything, filling the collection book or recycling your materials is the way to go, because I don't see another way to do it. I honestly understand the nailer as a meme weapon, and I really liked this opportunity to just sit down and chat as to, like, obviously this was a joke video for the most part. Like, the source of the video is a joke, but all of the information in it is just a really good conversation about what makes a weapon good. Like the Siegebreaker, for example. It is a 10.8 fire rate. I should have looked at this in the beginning, because you can see that it actually has nearly the exact same 11,000 damage as the nailer, except that its fire rate is more than twice as fast. So it's outputting 400 damage less per shot. Actually, you know what? I might have made this look better than it was. Yeah, because I switched to Ramirez. Well, I wish I still had my copy. My bad. Let me go back down to the Siegebreaker real quick. Sorry about that mistake. Live recording here, you know. But still, 8,000 to shoot twice as fast while only doing maybe 30% less damage. Pretty significant, and it definitely overtakes it, as you saw, because the Siegebreaker has about a 209-ish thousand DPS, and the nailer has 130. So that percent definitely gets made up, because the crit damage multiplies on top of that with the way that it factors in, and Affliction is bonused on top of that base damage as well. It's not technically 45%. I usually just do the tricky stuff behind the scenes. It gets very complicated very fast, but I guess that's why you guys enjoy these videos, because I simplify things. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to use code Mista to check out. I don't know how many more meme videos I'm going to do. The stop axe has been heavily requested, so if you are one of the lucky few who made it to the very end of this video, if we can get, end of the video comment, 225 is on the daily video mentioned early on. Let's see, can we get, if we get 250 likes on the stop axe, I'll make it an April Fool's video. You know what? I might do it anyway. I don't know. 250 likes and you're going to lock it in for sure. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can become a channel member here. Support the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Twitch link down below. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Have a nice day, and see you next time. And then...